Hi, I'm Reidus. This week on Reidus and Cletus Weekly, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do a project car update, and basically I'm going to update you with kind of the plans of our current cars and the cars that we're going to buy and the cars that we just got. So we'll start off right away with everybody's favorite, the Cletus Vet. The Cletus Vet is coming along pretty well. It's going to be eventually painted. Clayton really wants to paint it. He wants to paint it yellow. And it's going to need a lot of work before that, but in due time. It's a good car. The mechanicals are really good on it. He actually drove the thing up to Muskoka this last weekend, where the header bolts started to come loose because of just vibration, so the headers were falling off. But luckily, he had his tools with him, and he tightened them back up, and just out of miraculous luck, found a header gasket from Canadian Tire a few weeks ago, and just bought it because it was $2 or something like that. And he had that fixed. It still needs a few things. It still needs a horn. The horn doesn't work on it. It needs a couple of fiberglass body panels on the front. We had a problem with the brakes with it a few weeks ago, or last week, where they were spongy. So we rebled the back brakes and that fixed it, and then they kind of sponged up again, and we found out it was just a loose vacuum fitting on the vacuum booster. So now it stops perfectly, and it's a good running car. We found out when we did episode 5, when Clayton had the carburetor tuned professionally, that it has a cam in it. Not sure what cam, but gave it a bunch more horsepower, and man, that thing is fast and loud. So that car is pretty good. It still needs a lot of stuff, but that's okay, you know. So the Cletus Vet's coming along pretty well. It's basically Clayton's daily driver, and it is doing perfect at that. Next up, my 1968 Datsun Roadster. Plans for that car are I'm going to strip all the paint off so it's bare metal, and then clear coat it so it's silver but not rusty. And it's going to be kind of a rat rod look, but kind of old school hot rod. And because I really like that. It's already honestly so bad, the body, even though from what I've fixed it's okay. What you can't see in the video is every body panel on that car has hail damage on it, so there really isn't much of a point to trying to make it totally concourse restored. I can't afford it. A nice paint job is $5-10 grand, and it's just not worth it to me. I like having more cars than just one, and honestly, I like driving the crap out of it, and a nice car, you can't really do that. So it's going to be silver and clear coated. I really want to get some gunmetal color Watanabe wheels for it. I also want to get a 5-speed and maybe eventually upgrade to a 2-liter. We'll see, because it's only a 1600 now, so that's my fun little car. That's good. Next up, we've got a car that we've actually got hiding in a garage somewhere near Clayton, and that is my 1973 Ford Mustang that we bought without an engine, and it's going to receive a pretty special engine. I'm not going to reveal what it is, but it's pretty special. It's also going to have a 5-speed transmission. I'm really hoping we can do that one up in kind of like a 1970s SCCA style car, you know, low to the ground, fat wheels. It's going to be really cool. I'm really excited for that. The 1977 Suburban that towed my stuff and my Datsun all the way across the country from Calgary to Toronto has been sold. I sold that car 2 or 3 weeks ago because driving it around Toronto was a little bit brutal. It only got about 10 miles per gallon, and it's a big car. And I don't need to carry stuff around everywhere anymore. I don't need to be hauling things. Clayton also has his 99 Suburban, which he'll never sell because it was a family heirloom, and that's a really good truck. So the big red Canyon Arrow is gone, and I've replaced it with what I'm sitting in right now. This is a 1966 Ford Custom with a 300 cubic inch straight 6. The engine has been replaced. It used to be a 240. It is a 4-door in Wimbledon white with a blue interior. It is pretty nice. It's honestly a nice car. My plan for this one is going to be turning it into the ultimate daily driver. I want it to be comfy. It already has a full exhaust, so it's quiet. It's got a nice brand new interior, new headliner. It's got a nice sounding radio, actually. I think I'm going to try and put an aux cord in it because I like aux cords in cars. And this is basically going to be my daily driver. I really like this car. This thing's cool. It had initially some problems running when we bought it, and it's got a few other things wrong with it that need to be addressed, but you'll see that in an upcoming episode. And finally, Clayton actually bought a car this last week. It's also from 1966, and I'm not going to reveal what it is, but I am going to say that it is nothing like what we've had on Reidus and Cletus before. Except it still has 4 wheels, and an engine, and... well, okay, it's pretty much like everything else we've had on Reidus and Cletus before. And... fun footnote to that, Clayton bought it over the phone without looking at it, so honestly, when I go see it this week, we'll see how much of a pile it is, so that'll be kind of funny. But yeah, expect some big things happening in the Reidus and Cletus garage. We've got a whole bunch of new cars coming, we've got our old junk, which we'll be working on here and there, and you're gonna see us doing a lot more fun adventures now that we live in the same city and have been for a few months now. So, thank you so much for watching our show, it's a lot of fun doing it. And we'll see you next week on Reidus and Cletus.